All right, man. We are live on Twitter and YouTube. We just finished up the podcast episode, which will be up on Wednesday for the call up. But Matt Mervis is joining me from the Cubs organization, one of the hottest hitters in the minor leagues. And Matt, dude, we're going to break down some of those big swings you've had this year. I don't want to do the whole like forced formal like hello again because we just did that on the podcast and we did that before we recorded. So I'll spare you the whole forced formal hello. Thanks for having me on. But you and I just recorded the podcast episode. That was awesome. I appreciate that. And now I'm very excited to break down some of your swings with you. We're going to start with like just the fun stuff, like just the single swing homers. But then we're going to start breaking down some in-depth ABs as well. But Matt, I mean, just before we lead into it, you might have to repeat yourself a little bit from the podcast. Just like you must be feeling amazing right now.
Yeah, I feel great. My swing feels like it's in a great spot, and the pitches I'm getting, I'm not missing them, and thankfully they're falling. So, hoping to keep that going.
I mean, for Cubs fans, they definitely know what you're up to right now in terms of numbers. But, for those who may not be canvassing the minor leagues, like, psychos like myself and Jack and some of the other guys on our staff do, you're hitting 350, 389, 650. That's your slash line. 186 WRC plus. That's top 5 in all of the minor leagues among qualified hitters. What stands out to me, man, is the 7 home runs because, I mean, I know you have power. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen what you can do with Wood already as well in the Cape, but 9 home runs in 69 games last year in low A, 7 home runs in 27 games this year in high A. We're going to get to the swings and stuff like that. But before we get to that specifically, what's the big difference in terms of the power department for you?
Just making better contact more consistently. Last year I drove a few balls, but it was much more hit or miss. I'd go a couple weeks without a home run, and then I hit one or two, and then go a couple more weeks without one. Um, now it feels like my swing's in a good spot, and it's allowing me to drive the ball with authority instead of clipping a few balls or flying out to the track, stuff like that. And honestly, a little bit of it's the ballpark. Myrtle Beach has that heavy beach air and some of the wind, and that plays a little bit of a factor. But yeah, I think just consistently hitting the ball well has led to more results.
That's a pretty crazy concept, huh? Consistently hit the ball well, better results. And those results have been consistent both versus lefties and righties. And here's an instance here. You've had the clutch gene this year. Cubs fans that have been following the minor leagues have seen, some of your big time home runs. Not only is this a clutch home run to tie it in the bottom of the ninth with one out, it's a left on left homer. You're hitting 375 against lefties so far this year. You are a left-handed power hitting first baseman. Let's play this swing real quick. Great call, too.
They did trail 4-0. It's now 4-3. 3-1 comes home. This one's launched. Deep out to right field. See ya! Matt Mervis ties up the game with a solo blast of the ninth.
That's just a fastball he left out over the plate. 3-1, bottom of the ninth. They're not trying to walk the winning run, or the tying run. So,
You got the fireworks and everything.
We got everything. We got the lights going. We got the siren, the fireworks. It's a fun place to play.
But, so, I mean, you're sitting dead right there. There's not too much. Like, we're going to break down full ABs. I just wanted to show this because, I mean, like, this was just a clutch swing. You're sitting 3-1. I mean, you're just hunting a fastball, right? I mean, there's nobody on. Last thing this guy wants to do is put somebody on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, actually, there's one thing you want to do less, and that's give up a home run to tie the ball game up. Were you kind of sitting heater and shutting down anything else? Like what's your thought there at 3-1, aware of what the pitcher might be trying to do, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I know he doesn't want to walk me. As we go through the at bat later on, you'll see he got behind with a couple fastballs. And I think I took a slider earlier on in the at bat, but I was just left on left, be on time with the fastball and try to hit a line drive somewhere. And luckily I got enough of it, went out.
So what intrigues me here is, I mean, this is a little bit of an angle. It's tough, but it looks like it's more off the plate, not off the plate, but a little bit middle out here. Would that be fair to say it was a little bit more middle out?
Yeah, it was definitely outer half, probably outer third, but it's elevated, so I can still get around it.
So if that pitch was lower, like let's say that's a little bit below belt high, but outer third, are you just not pulling the trigger? Because I like that's a middle way pitch that you were able to lift out of the yard, pull side, but it's a little bit harder to do that when it's a little bit lower. Is that basically something that you're just looking for something elevated or inside, or like at what point are you shutting down something away there?
Yeah, if I see that low and away out of the hand, I'll probably take it, especially in a 3-1 count. He's got to do that twice in a row.
Mhm.
So seeing up and away, something I can drive more up than away. I can cover away. I have longer arms. The in and out of the pitch doesn't matter as much as the vertical height. So um, yeah, I guess probably left on left, pulled low and away. I'll probably spit on that and hope for a better 1-3-2.
Makes sense. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this is a full AB. This is a good one. I want to see if you remember what this one is, because honestly, I don't have the clips labeled, so I kind of have to recall which clips I pulled as we watch it. So we're in this one together. This was
Yeah, I mean,
I know which this was now. So he gets you with the first pitch breaking ball. Like, that is what it is, right? Like, you just kind of shake it off and recalibrate.
yeah. I mean, that was kind of a spinner. I thought during the at bat, I thought I should have hit that one. And then he goes back to it here. I think it's elevated.
Yeah.
That's another pitch that I can drive, but it was a little bit up above the zone.
So, both of those you feel like you should have hit. What was the reason why you didn't? As dumb of a question as that sounds, like, what was the reason why you didn't, if you feel like you should have hit that?
Maybe trying to do too much. I'm not entirely sure. You can see where my upper body's facing there, spinning a little bit. Maybe trying to leave the yard instead of just trying to get. I think we had first and second here. I don't think it was second and third. So probably should have just been trying to get a base hit instead of leave the yard. But
So at this point, you've picked up that this is a hanger. You think, like, right
yeah,
up,
I think I saw that one out of the hand, especially after seeing the first one.
and it was just almost just probably an example of just getting almost too excited sometimes when it's hanging up there like that.
I think so. I mean, any hitter sees that and goes, "That's a pitch I want to hit a home run on."
If you gave me a freeze frame here, I'm saying that's a home run.
Yeah,
because I can tell you're about to pull the trigger, and just one of those where you just yank off it a little bit. Yeah, that's a big swing.
Yeah, you can see how big that swing was.
Yeah. So you're 0-2 now. So now it's like, okay, what's your thoughts? You just took 2 swings through 2 curveballs or breaking balls that you think you should have hit. What are you thinking now?
There's still a chance to drive in the winning run here. You see bottom of the 8th tie game. The at-bat's not over. So we had a decent scouting report on this guy. I thought it was a good matchup for me. So, keep battling until I can get a pitch I can handle.
So now that's a fastball running away, which is kind of tough after you get 2 breaking balls breaking towards you, get a piece of it, fouled out. Now you do it again, 0-2. That was close. But that's a pitch, right? So 0-2, is that a pitch you're okay with beating you? If a guy locates a fastball inside on the inside corner?
No, that's a ball. If that gets called a strike, I'm angry. It's a good pitch. I'm not taking anything away from him, but you see where that ball's inside.
Pretty good frame.
Great job. I mean, they had a couple of good catchers there, but you see the umpires lined up inside too, so you can see that the whole way.
Yeah, it's hard to see the plate. Oh, yeah, you can see that now. So when you're looking in that situation, breaking ball, fastball tailing away, do you think if that was a strike, if that's 2 inches, more over the plate, you think you could have covered that?
Yeah, I think so. At least foul it off.
Because how much of it is like, okay, you're aware of the fastball away, you're prepared for the fastball in, you got 2 breaking balls that were elevated. How do you juggle the being ready for everything, but also not, leaving yourself, kind of spread too thin mentally?
I stay on the fastball. One of the main things we focus on here is if you're on time with the fastball, you can hit anything. You can't sit, change up, and speed up to hit fastball. So, like you see there, I'm early on the changeup, but I'm still able to cover it and just foul it off and fight on to the next pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. That was a pretty well placed changeup after the fastball in. He ran a fastball up and out too.
It had decent action on it too. It was fading away from me. And you see that I'm way early and kind of waving at it, but still able to get enough barrel through the zone to foul it off.
So now after that, you've seen it all now. You've seen every pitch. Do you feel better or worse after seeing every pitch?
Way better.
Yeah.
And fouling off all 3 pitches or swinging through the 2 sliders, but knowing that I should have hit them.
Mhm.
You know, I know that at this point I'm standing there thinking he can't beat me. I've seen all of his pitches. Nothing's overpowered me. I've taken good swings on the fastball and the slider, and I know I can foul off the changeup. So anything over the plate, I feel I can do damage on.
And what are you thinking though? Again, you're sitting fastball, but now you've seen all of his pitches, and the only 2 that he's gotten you to swing through is the breaking ball. You're not semi tempted to sit breaking ball here?
Stay on the fastball always, no matter what. I have to be fully convinced to sit on a breaking ball.
So you're
I
not.
mean, I don't know what the catcher's going to call.
Yep.
Unless it's the most obvious situation, I'm staying on the fastball.
So you're staying on the fastball here. It's 1-2. Another breaking ball, but like you said, a little out front, but you're all over it.
Yeah, and that was a hard hit foul ball. So in my head now, he's not going back to that. So now I'm thinking something's going to be straight. It's going to be a fastball or changeup.
And you get fastball, middle,
Yep.
crushed it. Do what you're supposed to do to that, which is deposit it over the right field wall. So I picked this at bat for a reason, because you saw every pitch, you stayed with an approach, and how much do you think at the big league level, or not the big league level, but at the professional level, how often do you think hitters may stray from that approach? Like, how important is it to stick to your approach? Because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm almost like the devil on your other shoulder, like, hey, sit curveball, sit curveball. If you did that, maybe you don't hit it, and you end up getting the fastball that might get on you too quick there. So it's kind of wild how sticking to that approach is something that's difficult. You got the devil on your other shoulder, but it's a big reason why I feel like you've had this success so far.
Yeah, there's always that thought process, like maybe I'm not going to get a fastball, and at times you don't, and sometimes you beat yourself up over it. Like, what, that was kind of stubborn. Maybe too simple of an approach, but other times like this, it pays off. So I found an approach that I like, no matter what.
I mean, yeah, you crushed that one. Absolutely crushed that one. We're going to another random clip. It's either going to be an individual swing home run or a full AB. We've got one more of each. Whoops. Hold on. Where'd you go? Where'd it go? Hold on 1 second. What's happening here? Are you there? I'm like,
Yeah,
my
I got a
screen's
home run
freaking out.
playing right now.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I had a little bit of a full screen chaos right there. Now we're back. So it just played the homer. Like, I literally, like, the screen blew up for a second. I was like, oh shoot.
I watched the
All
whole
right.
thing.
So yep. Now I know why. This swing right here, I pulled this one for a reason. Left on left again. And you said something on the podcast, which was, I need to be able to go to left center, left on left. I thought that was super interesting. You do exactly that here over the wall. This was a 1-2 pitch. I didn't do the whole AB because the vantage point is kind of brutal. But I would love for you to just talk about what happened before this pitch, and also just like this swing, man. I mean, I feel like if you have an example of like Matt Mervis is locked in, it's got to be this swing, right? Like, this is when you're locked in.
This is when I started the streak that I'm on right now. Like you said, 2 strikes, left on left. This guy's kind of funky. You can see his delivery. He's got a lot of moving parts. And I think both of the strikes earlier in the at-bat were sliders. Similar to the last at-bat, I think I took a slider in the strike zone and then chased one low and away. And so the approach, again, stay on the fastball. I'd seen 2 of the sliders. He was fastball slider to lefties. I don't think he mixed in changeups. So 2-pitch guy. And he was kind of firm, I think 93, 94. So if I'm sitting slider and he throws this pitch, I punch out looking. So, I have to stay on the velocity, have to be on time there. And then, like I said, being able to take it to left center, just simplify everything. It went over the fence. That's great. But even if it doesn't, that's a double, and I'm on base for my team.
hard to believe that went over the fence, honestly, just because it looked like off the bat that was like a line drive gapper. But
Yeah, you
again,
can
you
see
get the
me running
backswing,
hard
you
too.
carry it. How are you able to generate some of that easy lift? Is that something that just always kind of came natural to you? Because I've seen you spray line drives all over, but what I've seen a lot of this year is just that carry. It seems like the ball just continues to carry out of the yard, and that would be also reinforced by the home run to fly ball rate, which is up 7% this year.
I didn't know that, but that's a good number. I'm glad that's going up. Um, I don't know. You know, even in the Cape, excuse me, I could pull home runs. I had some backside doubles, but I don't think I hit any backside home runs there. So um, the Cubs have helped me a lot with my direction and just staying through the ball instead of, just trying to get the head out and pull everything. Um, you can see if you go to contact here, you can see my body stays all the way through the ball instead of just pulling off. So right there, you can
Yeah,
see that
wow.
I'm like my upper body's facing left center. It's going to follow the ball um, all the way through the zone off the bat instead of getting to contact and rolling over and trying to pull that pitch.
And you talk about how you feel comfortable with the plate coverage, but also you feel comfortable being able to take a ball to right field that is maybe on the outer third and put it over the wall pull side. How, like, again, in this situation here, is it because it's left on left, you're more focused on just staying closed and going the other way, or is that just kind of where the pitch led you?
Um, I'm not sure honestly what the difference was. Maybe I saw the one in the last clip a little bit better and got the head out on it. A little bit different delivery. The guy was a little bit easier to pick up, I think, but and actually a little bit less velo. That could have been a factor too. This guy, I think, probably a little bit tougher to pick up the slider, so I was staying back a little bit more and just trying to be simple.
100%. I love that. And I mean, you did it. You did it for sure there. Let me see if I can pull up the right clip here. Up this one. Yep. This is the last AB we're going to go through real quick. This one, not as much on the line in terms of suspense, but all the ABs count the same when we're looking at the stat line. And this was a big one for you too. So I want you to kind of just walk us through this one because first pitch, I think that was just a fastball up, or was that a changeup that he left up? Changeup that he left up,
Changeup.
right?
This
Yeah.
guy I think he was 60 or 65% changeup. He's a two-pitch
Wow.
guy. Changeup's at like 86, and I see that out of the hand, and I get excited, and I'm a little bit early on it, but I hit that ball hard. And then just knowing that, kind of keeping that pitch in the back of my head for later on in the at-bat. I know I hit a changeup hard already, so that'll probably impact what they try to do later on. And then there, see the fastball, pretty good location, but I'm able to lay off of it.
That's some good riding life to it too, right? And like you just saw the changeup up, and the hardest part about hitting a changeup, right, is differentiating it from the fastball, right? Like that's what makes a good changeup a changeup. At what point did you realize that wasn't a combio?
I think again that goes back to my approach. I think everything's a fastball until it's not. So just staying on that and see once I pick up that ride instead of the tumble of a changeup, then I know
Shut
it's
it
going to
down.
stay up.
Exactly. So now you've seen both, and again, you're committing to that fastball approach. Here's the pitch. Another
There's
heater.
a good little heater. Ran a little bit away, but again, one that I thought I should drive, especially when I know he's such a heavy changeup guy.
Was that an attempt at a breaking ball?
No, that was a yanked changeup. I think
Okay.
it was one of the two. Breaking ball wasn't even on the scouting report.
That was a pretty well located change.
Yeah. That pitch, like I said, I stay on the fastball. That pitch, I was sitting changeup. Don't know why.
I'm so glad you said that because I was about to say, how did you get to this? Because you sit fastball, you have great body control, you don't move much, so that allows you to still be able to kind of stick the bat out right and get a piece of it. But I'm looking at this pitch and I'm like, if I'm a pitcher here, I'm pissed. Like I'm frustrated because you can't throw a changeup much better than that. I mean, look at where this pitch is right now. Look at it, like right now, that's fading off. I mean, the catcher turned his glove over
Yeah.
to
I mean,
block
that's a
that
ball.
thing.
That's a pitch that's supposed to be a swing and miss. And like you said, being able to control my body and just extend my barrel as far as I can, I got just enough of it to foul it off.
So you were sitting change up and it just tumbled even more than you thought.
Yeah, I mean that's just like you said. It started middle away, and it's got probably a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet of depth on it. That's just a really good pitch.
So you get that. Now, are you recalibrated back to sitting fastball?
Yes.
Because the classic set him up with the changeup down, now elevate the heater, right? I mean, like that's
Right. And if you
the
think
MO.
about it, that catcher sees me foul off that pitch and go, okay, he's probably sitting changeup.
Yep.
And you think about it, go back to the first pitch of the at bat where I hit that changeup hard.
Yeah.
If you throw another change, I mean, you can't throw a better one than he threw. So if he tries to go back in the zone with it, he knows I already hit that hard, and then he just comes fastball in.
Like honestly, dude, and I'm not even just saying this to like pump you up here. I'd be so pissed. This is one of those where you can only control so much in baseball. He threw a perfect changeup that you fouled off, and then honestly, this fastball, like, yeah, it needed to be up more. And yeah, you don't want to go down to lefties, but after just getting you on your front foot a little bit on a changeup, this isn't the worst pitch in the world.
No, it got in on me a little bit. That wasn't complete barrel, but
No,
I got enough
it
of it to
stayed in
beat
the
the right
yard.
fielder. Yeah, but I got enough of it, and it goes back to staying on the fastball. I did what I need to do, fouling off that changeup, and I earned myself a fastball. So, just kind of sticking with my approach there.
And I mean, when I look at this pitch here too, if that was up, do you think you still would have been able to get the same swing off?
That's a good question. He has see that he throws a little bit of a sinker.
Yeah, it's
At
got
least
a
that
little bit.
pitch.
It's got a little bit of that like heaviness to it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's up, if it's still as much sink, and that might allow it to get into my hands a little bit. But like you said, the mislocation was a little bit of a factor there.
And one other point that you brought up on the podcast that we just did, it's pretty impressive to see how quick the bat is there. I mean, like that's something that you really feel like is almost on a different level now, right? In terms of how quick you are through the zone and how quick you are, from the point of like launch to contact.
Yeah, and that helps with my swing decisions a lot. Even though I chased one or two pitches in this at bat, it gives me that much more time where I can see the ball instead of just having to make a decision so so early on out of the hand. And yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence. The guy can throw a decent fastball in, and I can still get to it and keep it fair without having to cheat to it.
So that's the last thing I want to get to right here is how much bat speed really helps you beyond just, oh yeah, you can get to faster pitches or difficult pitches. But can you talk a little bit more about how much more time it buys you? And as crazy as that sounds, you buy yourself tenths of a second or hundredths of a second to make a decision, right? Like that's what you're getting at, right? Is the quicker
Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
to the ball, the more time you have to wait before making the decision as to whether you're going to swing or not, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if I can decrease my time to contact by 1/100th of a second, that's another 100th of a second that I have to make a decision on a swing. Everyone knows how quickly a 95-mile-an-hour fastball gets to a plate, but if I have to cover that and an 84-mile-an-hour changeup and a 79-mile-an-hour curveball, every tenth of a second or 100th of a second I have to make that decision is huge for me.
Totally. And I think that's something that people might not realize as much, but it can be a game changer for you. How much quicker do you feel to the ball from last year?
Way quicker. I think a lot of my miss hits and jam shots last year were just because of my long swing. I thought I was on time when I was swinging for the most part, and I would get beat in. And because my swing was long, it wasn't compacted and connected, I missed a lot of pitches that I should have been hitting.
So last question, breaking down the actual physical attributes of the swing here. I know it's kind of hard from this far, but what was the change that really made you shorter to the ball from before?
Yeah, if you remember that 0-1 curveball that we were talking about, I took the really big swing on it, or the 0-1 slider, took the big swing on it and missed. And you see me stand there for an extra split second thinking, I should have hit that. Why didn't I? And it goes back to being long and trying to do too much instead of staying with my compact swing, staying short to the ball, and just trying to, um, hit it on the barrel instead of hit it over the scoreboard.
Is there a certain trigger or a certain feel that you're looking for, like in these moves here, as you load for your swing to stay shorter? Is there anything you're specifically thinking about or cue?
I just think keep my hands tight. I like using my hands when I hit. I know some people do, some people don't. But when my hands get away from my body, that's when I get long and clip balls or miss hit balls or swing through pitches. So just trying to turn tight with my hands and get them extended enough to where I can do damage.
Well, it seems like baseball is all about repeating swings, right? Like it's about repeating the swing that works for you as many times as possible. The further you get away from your body, the more difficult it is to repeat said swing, right? And you talk about the plate coverage. This is an example here. You can see how tight in your hands are, and you have all the plate coverage you need.
Yeah, I think this pitch was middle in. And then you look at two of the other clips we showed earlier, and their balls away. One of them I pulled, one of them I stayed a little bit tighter and extended through. So like you said, just this one, my hands get a little bit further away from me. That's because I'm a little bit early. But still, that helps with plate coverage being tight in my turn and then extending instead of, everything moving around in one motion.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the longest you get, you're in good shape, right? I mean, and that to be able to hit that one out is crazy. So I mean, this is so cool to watch. And again, like breaking down what you've done this year for those who may not be familiar with Matt Mervis. Matt Mervis is hitting 350, 389, 650 this year. Really just locked in at the plate. And it'll be fun to continue to watch moving forward now, man, of knowing that you feel really comfortable in your approach. Last question. I'll actually ask you, I swear this is the last one. How do you balance the aggressiveness with also, trying to take your free passes? You haven't needed to walk a lot because you're hitting everything, but as a power hitter who will continue to rise through the minors, I'm sure AA is not far away now from you. Hopefully in the next couple weeks at the latest. How do you balance the aggressive ambush, make a lot of contact, trust your feel to hit, but also recognizing that, it is very important, especially in today's game, to walk?
Yeah, I think my walk rate's actually down a little bit from last year, and the strikeouts are probably up a little bit because I feel great with my swing right now. So I'm probably trying to get my best swing off a little bit too often. But I'm happy with where I'm at, and just knowing that that's the next step instead of trying to correct things with my swing or make better contact, stuff like that. That's the best next step for me. I don't have to worry about changing a swing mechanic or changing an approach or anything like that. So, just really trying to pick up. We were just talking about, picking up the ball and buying myself as much time as I can. Just continuing to work on that, shrink the strike zone, be a little bit more selective with the pitches I'm swinging at earlier on in the count. I think that'll get the walk numbers back up and hopefully the strikeout numbers down.
I mean, if a 24% K rate is up for you when you're doing what you're doing at the plate right now, I think the Cubs organization and everybody will take that. You are locked in right now, man, and I appreciate you taking the time to explain to us how you are so locked in. So, Matt, thanks so much for taking the time. Again, if you want to follow along with Matt, high A for now in the Cubs organization. Very excited for the hopeful AA promotion very soon as you are continuing to do everything in your power to rise through the minor leagues. And I'm excited to follow along, Matt. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks a lot. That was a lot of fun.